So, now that I've finally escaped Nick's basement, I can finally start talking about the requests that I got from the GoFundMe. I got 3 altogether, so I decided just to do them in order, and for the spirit of fairness, we're going to do them in order of how I received them. So, first person who donated gets their first review, which is today. Funny thing about that is that the other 2 were actual games, while this other one was more of a request for something less specific. And in this case, it was a game that other people tend to like that I cannot stand. So, with that being said, I give you Dark Heresy.
Life's tough
When you're an NPC,
life's rough.
when you depend on me,
To give you weapons, items, armor, information for your journey, and still you still pushing and trying to hurt me. Life's tough
when you're an NPC,
life's rough.
Dark Heresy is one of those instances, for me anyways, that just drives me nuts. It is one of those games where you can even admit that there was a decent game, but there was just something about it that just you could not stand. The artwork, or the playstyle, or the setting just really grinded your gears. This one was the holy trifecta for me. I know that a lot of this stuff is cool, and that a lot of people like this, but nothing about this game sells me at all. System, artwork, playstyle, mythos, everything this game has to offer is a culmination of, I can see the appeal, but holy hell am I uninterested. I know that a lot of people really liked this game, in particular people who are Warhammer 40k fans, but I cannot stand this game, so I am ready to take the derision and punishment that comes with it. Let's start off with the premise. The premise of this game and the mythos built around it is set in deep space. You take on the role of inquisitors and acolytes out to root out heresy and naysayers throughout the universe. The game is very survival of the fittest, as the setting itself is one of bleak death and destruction. You have cybernetic technology as well, of people who have altered their body into grotesque robot organic forms, more akin to something like Akira than Cyborg from Teen Titans. The problem instantly with this game is the fact that it's just too dark. And I mean, I like dark. I was a goth whenever I was in high school, some 10 or 11 years ago at this point. And I get the aesthetic, but gothic science fiction has never been anything interesting to me. It's always been too bleak and dark and depressing. From the start of this game, it is just about this imperial ruler. You all are nothing more than chattel, pawns to be used, and there's no real silver lining in that. You just have to accept your lot in life, be genuinely happy about it, fight for the Empire, die for the Empire, and carry on with what little existence you have. Even before the game started, you have already drank the Imperial Kool-Aid as a precursor for starting. I find that Dark Heresy dipped too far into the realms of Gothic to the point that it lost all glimmer of hope and existence for something better. I feel like games like Midnight and the World of Darkness series handle the subject matter a lot better. It is clear from the start in Midnight that the world is fucked and you have been cut off from the gods. The bad guys won, and all you can do is survive in this bleak, horrific world. But it is built around a sort of fool's hope. The idea of keeping on fighting until the last man, or maybe hold out hope that the gods will return and save the day when they clearly are not. World of Darkness is really dark, as the title suggests, but it embraces its darkness and presents it with a sadistic glee. It revels in darkness and makes the game enjoyable from that end. It's something like Voltaire's "It's so easy when you're evil."
and it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me.
Yeah, sure, the song is dark and gothic, of course, but you still have this sadistic glee and joy in the darkness. Dark Heresy? The game comes across neither as reveling in darkness, nor does it offer hope. It's just dark. This world is just dark, and it sucks, and life sucks, and the best you can do is suck along with it so that life maybe will suck a little less. I mean, give me the number crunches of 3.5 in Pathfinder over just the soul-sucking experience of getting sadder and sadder as the day goes on. And then there is the artwork. The thing that I hate the fucking most about this game. I hate this artwork. I hate it with a burning passion that burns deep within myself. Not only is it dark and dreary and depressing, which admittedly does fit the themes that the game is going for, but the art is just so, well, what's the word? 90s. Believe it or not, the 90s was not some picturesque utopia. Whenever it comes to artwork and comic book styles, the 90s may have been one of the worst things that ever happened to it. The point of this being is that the 90s saw the rise of a man named Rob Liefeld, a comic book artist and creator responsible for some of the worst artwork in the history of the medium, complete with cartoonishly bulgy muscles, anatomically incorrect proportions for both men and women, and the outright disgusting objectification of women in his artwork. Rob Liefeld left a mark on life similar to that of a skid mark on a pair of underwear. I can go on forever about this guy. I could honestly write an entire thesis about how this guy screwed up comic books and the entire medium of artwork for the better part of a decade. But regardless of whether or not this guy left a skid mark on the underpants of life, he still left a mark, and his artwork and stuff is still seen today. It's even to the point where someone created an RPG based around Rob Liefeld's kind of characters and universe called Rob Liefeld's Blood Pouch. And that is a thing for another day. The reason I bring this up? Well, even if this game came out in 2008, you can still see the artistic homage to Liefeld's work in every page. Humans so wide and beefy that you wonder how they even fit through doors. Women being nimble and small in full-body skin-tight cat suits. Guns cartoonishly large and unwieldy, combined with the touch of the gothic dreary setting to bring it all to a giant shit heap pile. There is nothing about this artwork I like, and I mean that. There is nothing about this artwork I like. Even whenever I look at other bad role-playing games, poorly illustrated games, or even the entire art medium, I can usually find a little something that I like somewhere in there. But this, everything about this, it just seems structurally designed to piss me off. What else is there to say? Oh, okay. So the system. The system itself isn't that horrible. It uses the Warhammer 40k system. Yet, even using this system, it still has its own shortcomings, namely the statistics system. The game works is that the stat system, you roll a d100. You have a threshold to beat, usually equal to that of your modifier. If you roll underneath, you pass, and if you roll over your threshold, you fail. The degree to which you roll under or over is that of the level of successes or failures you receive. I've had friends lobby similar complaints about statistics system, and I'll push forward them right now because it really irritates me in this game more than any other, because everything else about it pisses me off, is that whenever you roll a d100, you don't get the same satisfaction or feeling of control as you do when you roll a d20, a d12, or even just a d10. And in some cases it is true. When you roll a d100 and your threshold is 45, not taking into account flawed dice designs, you have about a 45% chance of success. In D&D, when you roll a d20 and you have someone make a check with a d20, you have a modifier of 9, so you still have about the same success-fail rate. However, rolling the d20 has an illusion that's more of being accomplished, or that you're actually good at something, as opposed to the d100, which feels a lot more like it's nothing more than a chance roll. While this isn't always the case, it can certainly add to the frustration levels of the game with a stats-based system. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it really doesn't work, because I'm already pissed off that I have to play Dark Heresy, and whenever I have to do some simple task, like let's say opening a fucking door, and I roll my dice and my threshold is 50, I have a 50-50 shot of whether or not I open this actual door. It's just frustrating. Give me the illusions of my D6, my D10s, my D12s, and my D20s. I like those a lot more than the constant D100 roll. I can't stand this game. Everything about it is designed around concepts I hate. I hate the artwork. I hate the premise. I hate the mythos. I hate the playstyle. Everything about this game is tailor-made to be a Tanner Bivens gaming repellent. This game gets a massive miss for me. If you enjoy it, enjoy it. Have at it. Go wild. Enjoy the shit out of Dark Heresy. But please do not ever think I'm going to pick up this game again.